Welcome back to SK Hobbies AZ, and yes, this is going to be part 2 of the ARRMA Talion build, so stay tuned. All right, well, welcome back. Let's go ahead and take a look at this bad boy. All right, so there it is. So that shell right there is an old shell from a buddy of mine. He actually had an ARRMA Talion, and he used to run it at our AZRC Bashers event, and he got a new shell, and he gave me this one. So we're going to temporarily use this shell until the new shell comes in, which we'll have a whole video on these new shells that are coming in for all of our Bashers. But there it is. She's looking pretty. So I didn't talk about these in the last video, but we're running the stock ARRMA Talion tires. So we got those on for now, but let's go ahead and look under the hood. So there you go. We'll do a little once around over it, and then we'll talk about the build. All right, so this build wasn't built, from the previous video. I told you guys about it, but this wasn't built off of, another RC I did. This build was completely from scratch. So cost effective doing it that way, because you're looking at almost $700 to buy the EXB. And really, the parts that you really need from that build to do this is pretty much all of the plastics. So like the wing, these pieces, like, the battery tray, your side skids, this top piece right here that I put on, of course, your body mounts, the center differential, the cover down here, and you got this, which is your kind of how you lift it up, that piece. And the rest of it was basically buying additional stuff, like buying the A-arms, which are the stock EXB A-arms, the tires, the shocks, buying a set of the ARRMA shocks, the steering linkage, and in this plastic kit, which we're going to talk about where I got that from, I also got the bumper. But everything else pretty much we upgraded. So with buying the upgraded parts, you're not spending the additional money on the roller or the EXB that you would buy, for $700. So ultimately, all of the plastics that I needed to get this kit built, and that was including the differentials, the shocks, the hot racing housings, which I already had a set of those, but we added that into the cost of this build. With doing all of that, I spent probably about $380 on buying those pieces. So with that, then you buy the upgrade stuff from M2C and Basher Queen. Now, you don't have to use the stuff from Basher Queen. You can use M2C's parts that they have and go from there. But I went ahead and put some Basher Queen carbon fiber stuff on this. So there is the servo mount right there. That's from Basher Queen. Also, the ESC mount, which you can see right down there. We're using the stock ARRMA mount for the motor, and that also is for the, you can see right there, that's also for the center differential. And with hot racing, I'm using the stock cover for the diff housing here, or people I guess call them the bulkhead. So we're using the stock one of those, the stock sway bar system, but everything else is M2C. So we've got the front hinge kit right here. We have the rear lower hinge kit right here. And then upper, we're running the stock EXB one because I still haven't found a good option for replacing the upper links. But with that being said, we installed the emulsion shock caps and got those installed. We've got 75 weight oil in both the front and the rear. And we also upgraded to this piece because I didn't have this front A block for the EXB style. So I ended up having to order that separately so I could use the Talion's EXB bumper, and then I put some 3D RC bumper spring on it. We're also running the 3D RC wing mount, which you can see down here. That's the red right there is the red. So we got that. So there's a lot of flexibility. Not as much flexibility because this is shorter than like what you would see on the Outcast or the Creighton, but it fits pretty good. Now, one of the big modifications I had to do, because the kit that I bought from M2C Racing didn't quite fit, and that was this tower brace mount right here for the rear. So you're going to see mine looks a little different, and what I did is I had to drill these bottom holes in the mount itself to go through the chassis, because the actual hole starts right there and it goes way up here. And then I just took my Dremel and I just rounded those off and made it fit. So it looks actually pretty good once you got all that done. Now, one of the next upgrades we're going to do is we're going to replace these body post mounts with East Tactics modification when we get the new body for this. And then also we're going to be upgrading these the hubs in the front and rear to hot racing ones. Currently we're using the stock EXB ones, and you can't really see too much in there, but we did replace the caps for in here, the adjustment caps we replaced with the M2C Racing replacement ones. So it's a lot, I don't know, they hug a lot better than those stock ones. I'm gonna have to get a set to go into my hot racing ones for the other side, or the other rigs that we have. So we got the M2C chassis braces installed. We've got the Techno M2C's servo horn. We did get Basher Queen's steering linkage, which is the servo saver. We got that installed in the steering linkage, and then we've also got M2C's Ackerman bar installed in this. I've not had any success with the packs that I got from Basher Queen for the Ackerman bar. It just seems like it's a little too wide, so we went ahead and got those ones from M2C, got those installed. The motor ESC combination, we've got that Hobby Wing Max 6, and we're running the 2250 kV motor. Now this motor was going to be installed in my ARRMA Creighton XL build, the Kraken, but I went ahead and upgraded that, and you guys will see what motor I put into that bad boy later. So we moved that motor over into this bad boy. It is really light. With all of that upgrading, it's to me it's a light rig. We've got this binded up to the Spectrum DX5C, which we're going to do a run video on this later on, and so you guys will be looking forward to that. But let's go ahead and take a look underneath here. So we've got it all installed. Now with this one, I went ahead and found, and I don't know if you guys can see it in here. If you look right here, so that head right there on those pins is a lot smaller, so we were able to get that nut and get those EXB ones. So I'm going to have to get a set of those for my other two builds and put those in, but it allowed me to, as you guys can see here on the bottom, I didn't have to do a modification like you're going to see on the other videos for the Creighton XL and the Outcast build. I actually trimmed this down around here, and then these back holes, I drilled holes right here to secure that down. So we're going to get that fixed and get it changed over to this later on. We did get M2C Racing's droop screws installed, which you can see right there. We've got those installed. And the tower brace right here, we've got that from Basher Queen and got that installed. Now we went M2C on all the drive lines, so the center front and rear dog bones for the drive is all M2C, and then of course we've got the CVD M2C out links right here, and then of course on the rear we've got those from M2C Racing. And then up here, the top plate is carbon fiber. We got that from Basher Queen. That came in that kit with the Ackerman bar, and also, if you can see down here where your steering linkage connects up to the C-hub, that's all carbon fiber too. So we're going to see how strong this carbon fiber is versus the stock EXP, and we'll see if we have to end up upgrading any of that stuff out of carbon fiber. But you know, that will definitely be a later video. Some of the other upgrades is this the top mount for the chassis, or the tower brace here that goes across. These are the stock EXP ones. We're going to eventually upgrade probably those to aluminum. We're looking for some options to get that done. We're going to be running this on 4S, and we're going to also try a pack of 6S through it. My son Ashton, which is right there, this is going to be his new rig, and he's primarily going to probably be running it on 4S until he gets kind of used to this speed. His old RC was an ARRMA Big Rock that was a 3S that we converted to a 4S system, and he's been pretty happy sitting around there, but I'm sure eventually he's going to love the power of the 6S and run from there. So let me go ahead and get you guys turned around here. All right, so there you have it. Custom build. As soon as the body comes in, we're going to do a complete cost analysis on this, but I can tell you that ultimately we saved about, I want to say $400 on this build by building it from scratch. Now, all of those plastic pieces and all those pieces that we got for the build, we got from Jenny's RC. So if you're going to build an RC completely from scratch and you're going to buy everything for that vehicle, it's not really cost effective to buy all of the pieces. You're going to spend more money buying all the individual stuff from Jenny's RC to build that. But this is how you use Jenny's RC. So when you need to build a vehicle that you're going to put a lot of money into and get that rig up and running, especially like we did with our 3 ARRMA 6S's that we just did, Jenny's RC is awesome. And I'll put a link down in the description to where you can go to look up Jenny's RC, but they do a lot more than just ARRMA. They've got Traxxas, they've got Losi, tons, Techno, all of the different RCs they do, and they disassemble them. They're brand new, and you can buy the components so you can beef them up. And then you go to places like Basher Queen on eBay, and then you go over to M2C Racing, to their website. There is another company that is the competitor of M2C, and that's Just Bash It RC. You can buy some of their stuff too, but from what I've seen, M2C is the top tier when it comes to those aluminum parts. And they work, it seems like they work pretty close with Basher Queen, because her carbon fiber stuff, especially if you're going to be building a street rig or, you know, a speed basher, that carbon fiber works good. But we're going to test out the carbon fiber in a basher and see how it holds up. So with that being said, and long-winded as I am, we're going to go ahead and cut this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe and bash that bell, and stay tuned for the next part of this series. I'm Stitch, SK Hobbies AZ, and I'm out.